Any which way you look at it, this was a difficult saga in India's history in the 1940s. Who is Jogendra Nath Mandal? Is he a traitor who voted with Pakistan for the creation of Pakistan, or is he the leader of Dalits? Did he have any good things about him? I'm going to give you a very balanced presentation here. Jogendra Nath Mandal came back to India. He was the first law minister of Pakistan, the United Pakistan of West and East Pakistan, but he returned to India a very dejected man in the 1950s because there were massacres of more than 10,000 Dalits in East Pakistan of that time in 1950. So I'm going to give you a small walk down memory lane and try to explain to you the times and the reasons perhaps why Jogendra Nath Mandal did what he did. So here we go. Small request to all of you to please like this video and also share it with all like-minded friends. We need to know our history, otherwise we are condemned to repeat it. That is my take on this. What happened, what are the circumstances, all that and more here. So first I want to tell you one interesting thing that happened. In 1946, a constituent assembly was formed and this was elected, and there were 296 members, and the election was from the state assemblies, and it was a single transferable vote based on proportional representation. In other words, in the state assemblies, if you didn't have much representation, you didn't have much of a hope for getting elected into the constituent assembly. Guess what happened in Mumbai, or those days Bombay? Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was part of the Scheduled Caste Federation, and he was defeated soundly by the Congress and the left. So he lost. He did not get into Constituent Assembly. On the other hand, Jogendra Nath Mandal had gotten elected from Sylhet and Jessore constituencies, and Jogendra Nath Mandal stepped down and gave up his seat so that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar could be part of the Constituent Assembly. And then, of course, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar went on to become the chairman of the drafting of the Constitution. So there was a lot of give and take in those days, and Jogendra Nath Mandal understood the importance of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar being present in the Constituent Assembly. So even then you can see the devious attitude of Congress. They never wanted Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to win. So whatever it is, Ambedkar did make it into the Constituent Assembly. Unfortunately, he was part of a region that went on to be part of East Pakistan, but it doesn't matter. He was the framer of the Indian Constitution, and then a lot of things happened. But in the meantime, what did Jogendra Nath Mandal do? That's what we are going to take a look at. Right from the beginnings, we are going to look at his history and how he emerged as a Dalit leader. This is a very controversial figure. Some of us may hate him for it, but you have to always keep your mind open in understanding what were the circumstances at the time of him being a representative of the Dalits. What kind of persecution did they face from various communities in the society? Did the British keep having that pot boiling? Were there anyone who tried to help out the Dalits? There are lots of individual instances where people have tried to help out the Dalits, but as a community, I must say the upper caste community was not very friendly towards Dalits in that time. Not so now. It's much more of a freer and a much more what I would call as a homogeneous society. Homogeneous meaning like we are much more in tune with what we want for the country and so on and so forth. Now, the reason he left Pakistan and came back to India was because of what happened to 10,000 Dalits in Dhaka region in 1950, where they were slaughtered. It was not just one place, there are many other places. I'm going to walk you through all the different places that slaughter happened, and he was fearful for his own life. Even though he was a law minister in Pakistan, he was fearful for his own life, and he had to come back, and he actually died a very bitter death in Kolkata. Jogendra Nath Mandal was born in 1904 into a Dalit family called the Namasudra community in Maiskadi, Barisal district of Bengal. After graduating in 1929, he got a law degree in 1934 He chose not to pursue a legal career, but instead jumped into addressing social injustices and uplifting the marginalized communities. Mandal began his political career as an independent candidate. He contested the 1937 Indian Provincial Assembly elections for the Bakharganj Northeast Rural Constituency in the Bengal Legislative Assembly. He actually defeated the then Congress candidate by the name of 𝗟𝗏𝗪𝗏, who was also the nephew of Swadeshi leader Ashwini Kumar Datta. Initially, he was associated with Congress. He distanced himself in 1939-40 and joined the Muslim League. So after that, he was a member of the Muslim League. Can you believe that? I mean, he was already a Muslim League member by 1939. Mandal became a significant leader within the Muslim League due to the fact that he could sway the Dalit community to go with him. Remember this vote bank? See, these vote banks end up eventually in disaster. And I hope people who are watching this and understanding about what vote bank politics is all about realize that this comes with a price, a heavy price sometimes. His stature in the Dalit movement was considered even greater than Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's during that period. See, Ambedkar was more of a cerebral person. He was never into going and working at the ground level. He was much more of a cerebral person. He had a double PhD in those days. I mean, he was a very accomplished person, but he knew how to look at the big picture. Mandal played a key role in the alliance between Dalits and Muslims, promoting the slogan Jai Bhim, Jai Meem. Where did we hear this? As recently as in June 2024. You know what I'm talking about. He convinced many Dalits to support the creation of Pakistan by promising better treatment for Dalits under Pakistan. In fact, this is the tea that Kool-Aid that Jinnah sold him, saying that he was going to be running a secular country for all people of Pakistan. In fact, there is a speech Jinnah gave on August 11th, 1947, where he said that it will be a secular country. After some years only, it became an Islamic Republic of Pakistan. In fact, they became so Islamic that they even started hating some of the staunchest people who had asked for creation of Pakistan, the Ahmadiyyas. So the Mandal argued that Muslims like Dalits were oppressed by upper caste Hindus, and he believed that aligning with Muslims would be more beneficial for the Dalits than going with the Hindus. In fact, he was so persuasive that a lot of things happened. I'm going to walk you through that at that time in history, how the Dalits got swayed by Jogendra Nath Mandal to vote alongside the Muslims, only to be massacred later. It didn't take a long time. That is the other sad part of it. So there was a plebiscite in 1947, and Mandal's influence led many Dalits in Assam to vote in favor of Pakistan. In fact, one district now is in Bangladesh because of this. I'm going to come to that in just a moment. Parts of Assam now in Bangladesh were included in Pakistan because of that vote. Well, he emerged as one of the 96 founding members of Pakistan, and he was its first law minister. Interesting, isn't it? I mean, the law minister of Pakistan as well as the law minister of India, the independent India, were both scheduled caste people. Very interesting. Or Dalits. But right after that, Mandal as well as his Dalit community started facing huge discrimination and atrocity. Even today, the remaining Hindus in Pakistan, that is the West Pakistan of those days, are still being put under severe stress, threat of conversion, rape, what have you. There are 3 big communities that are still struck in Pakistan. I've talked to you about Dr. Umendra Ratnu's efforts with Nimittakam to try and bring them into India. These are the 𝗤𝗍𝗄𝗧, the 𝗎𝗍s, and the 𝗠𝗎𝗙𝗍s. Now, on February 20th, 1950, over 10,000 Dalits were killed in a single day in Pakistan. And I have a link for that. Go through the description section, a bunch of links. You need to read all those things to understand the situation as it existed on the ground at that time. Now, here is the impact on Assam and partition. See the thing called Sylhet South? That was the 1947 select referendum, and that unfortunately became part of Bangladesh. Now you see if you look at the Bangladesh map, you will see that it has the top crown-like thing, that is the southern Sylhet. Now, Mandal resigned in 1950, detailing the atrocities in a letter to the then Prime Minister of Pakistan, 𝗟𝗑𝗙𝗥𝗡𝗙. He cited the Pakistani administration's failure to take action against atrocities against Dalits and Hindus. And the thing about this is, if you read some of these stories, especially it's available on Wikipedia, what is happening today is exactly what was happening then also. So this is not something that is isolated. What we are seeing now in Bangladesh is not something imported from West Pakistan. This has been there from before. In fact, if you remember, in 1946, there were two major riots because of the direct action day. One was 𝗤𝗏𝗙𝗘, where the Hindus were wiped out, and the other was in Kolkata or Calcutta in those days, where the Hindus actually stood up, but they did not wipe out the Muslims. Because what I'll tell you is, this is something that is shocking to many of you probably. 1941 census says that East Bengal had 28% non-Muslim population, and West Bengal, which is the same thing, today's West Bengal, East Bengal became East Pakistan, and now it is Bangladesh, right? So the West Bengal had 30.2% Muslim population, 1941 census. So what I'm trying to say is, in 1946 you had riots, again in 1950 you had riots, and in every one of these instances, thousands if not millions of Hindus fled Bangladesh today, or East Pakistan then, to India. So this has been coming in waves. 46 direct action day, 47 partition, and 1950. This has been going on and on and on and on. 1971 was another one. I mean, that is the reason why you have so less a percentage of Hindus left in what is Bangladesh today, from 28% in 1941 to just 8% now. But I'm told this 8% contributes to 20 to 24% of the tax base of Bangladesh. So the Hindus are not so poor here, unlike in the West Pakistan or today's Pakistan. The Hindus who are stuck in Pakistan are abject poor. They don't even have money to afford to go to the consulate to pay for the visa fees. Even that Nimitikam arranges these days. So what it is that sometimes one person tries to think that this is the best thing for his community. I don't know if he actually sought advice from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who chose to stay and fight here. That's what I always say, never, give up and see what happened. And if you look at the stories that I'm reading in 1946, how a complete village got wiped out. I mean, those days, a village had 350, 400 houses, and each house had 8 to 10 inhabitants. That's 4,000. That's not counted in the 10,000 I'm talking about. That 10,000 was just around Dhaka area. So this is the kind of challenges that the Hindus have faced in what is today Bangladesh. And I'm hoping that this time a Hindu Desh is formed for all the Hindus of Bangladesh. They need to stay there because 20% of the wealth of the country is with them. They shouldn't walk away from that. That is a lot of money. Anyway, that's just one part of it. But I'm saying that they should stay there with their heads held high and have a Hindu Desh. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.